Good evening, Addison, and welcome to the combined meeting of the committees for Monday, October 7th. Will the secretary please call the roll?
Trustee Del Rosario.
Here.
Reyes. Here. Nasty.
Here.
Co-chair Hunley.
Here.
Kluzny.
Here.
O'Brien.
Here. Item number 2 is consideration to approve the minutes of the September 17th, 2024 special combined meeting of the committees.
So moved. Second.
Any additions, corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Minutes are approved. Item number 3 is audience input regarding agenda items before the committee. Have none. Item number 4 is discussion of accounts payable. Earlier this evening, we reviewed the following directives. Directive number 25-31 in the amount of $408,065.38. Directive number 25-32 in the amount of $458,216.01. Directive number 25-33 in the amount of $671,161.77. And directive number 25-34 in the amount of $1,355,887.91. The gross payroll for September was $2,824,455.99. We also have one adjustment. Directive number 25-07 was approved on June 3rd, 2024 in the amount of $1,033,909.80 and is being reduced by $104.93, making the new total $1,033,804.87.
Make the motion.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5 is consideration to approve the final payout to Tigris Aquatic Services, LLC of Atlanta, Georgia in the amount of $53,301.92 for the Louis Reservoir East Pond Aerator Project. Funding in account number 100.2510-4180.
Make the motion. Second.
Thank you. Brian.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On July 1st, 2024, the village entered into a contract with Tigris Aquatic Services for the Louis East Pond Aerator Project. The scope of the work included purchasing and installing 5 aerators, cabling, and a control cabinet. Tigris supplied all the materials and performed the installation for us. Staff has inspected all the work and has been satisfied with the results. These aerators also come with a 5-year manufacturer warranty for any defects that we see over the years. So at this time, we're requesting final payout to Tigris Aquatic Services in the amount of $53,301.92. Thank you.
Thank you. It looks very good. I have no questions on this item. Any questions from the committee? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6 is consideration to approve the final payout to Aqua Contractors Corporation of Elmhurst, Illinois for the Oak Chestnut North State Infrastructure Project in the amount of $422,696.85. Bid number 23-5-1. Funding in account number 500.5031-4412.01.
Make the motion. Second.
Thank you. Brian.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Aqua Contractors was awarded bid 23-5-1 for the utility and roadway improvement project in the Oak and Chestnut area. We've attached the contractor's invoice for all the work completed, as well as releasing the final retainage for this project. We're able to release all the final retainage because we do hold a performance bond and we have a 1-year warranty with this, with all the work that they performed. So substantial completion was reached on July 31st, 2024, so we have 1 year from that date to address any issues that we find. After all of the change orders, the overall cost of the project was supposed to be $4,764,953.51. But after all the work was performed, we actually came in under budget by $162,922.73. At this time, we're requesting final payout to Aqua Contractors in the amount of $422,696.85. Thank you.
Thank you. I have no questions on this item. Any questions from the committee? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7 is consideration of a resolution approving a quote from Goading Electric Company of Glendale Heights, Illinois, for the purchase of a custom motor for the raw sewage pumps at the North Wastewater Treatment Plant in the amount of $22,055.11. Funding in account number 500.5032-4299.
Make the motion. Second.
Thank you. Ryan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The North Treatment Plant utilizes 4 raw sewage pumps to convey the incoming wastewater to the rest of the process. And due to technological advancements, these motors are now considered custom and have a lead time of anywhere from 10 to 12 weeks to manufacture. So we can no longer get these in a short amount of time. So during the budget process, we determined it's best to order a spare motor for our raw pumps. Just in the case that anything should fail, we're able to continue pumping at full capacity with our spare motor. Staff would be able to install this motor, so we will not have to pay for installation costs. So at this time, we're asking for acceptance of the quote from Godding Electric in the amount of $22,055.11. Thank you.
Thank you. I have no questions on this item. Any questions from the committee? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8 is consideration of a resolution approving a quote from Excel Limited, Inc. of Grays Lake, Illinois, for the purchase of streetlight control cabinets in the amount of $46,050, and a request to waive the formal bid process. Funding in account number 100.2510-4180.
Make the motion. Second.
Thank you. Ryan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. In 2018, we put out a request for quotes, and we received 0 responses. So we ended up contacting multiple manufacturers, and Excel Limited provided us the lowest price for the service. Excel has manufactured these cabinets for us for the past 5 years, and staff has been very satisfied with the product that they've given us. We're asking to waive the formal bid process to be able to keep this same manufacturer. That way all the components and the build is the exact same, which also makes it safer for our staff working from panel to panel. This way they're familiar with everything, and this also gives us the ability to keep certain items in stock that will work for every single panel. So at this time, we're asking for your approval to purchase 7 new control panels in the not-to-exceed amount of $46,050 and waive the formal bid process. Thank you.
Thank you. How long does a control cabinet typically last?
These should last for anywhere from 25 to 30 years, and just replacing components as they have issues, but the panel itself should last for quite a while.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions from the committee? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item number 9, consideration of a resolution approving a quote from Parks Corporation of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, for the rebuild and retrofit of the existing AquaGuard continuous self-cleaning bar screen at the A.J. LaRocca facility in the amount of $215,435, and a request to waive the formal bid process. Funding in account number 500.5032-4299.
Make the motion. Second.
Thank you. Ryan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. During the budget process, the wastewater division was approved for a rebuild and retrofit of the mechanical bar screens at the AJL facility. These bar screens protect our pumps from all the larger debris that come into the wastewater treatment plant, so this really keeps them from clogging and causing issues. Over time, the plastic components, especially the teeth and wear plates on this piece of machinery, corrode and get broken just due to the nature of what's coming in. So Parkson, who's the manufacturer, came out and inspected this and recommended rebuild using OEM parts. And Parkson will also be the sole provider of these parts, as well as rebuild these screens for us. And that's the reason that we're asking for the waiver of the formal bid process. And we're also asking for approval of the quotation from Parkson in the amount of $215,435. Thank you.
Thank you. I have no questions on this item. Any questions from the committee? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
We'll move on to Building Zoning Development Committee items. Item number 10 is consideration of an ordinance amending certain provisions of Chapter 30 of the Village Code regarding administrative adjudication.
Make the motion.
Second.
Motion is second. On discussion. Mike?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Huntley and members of the committee. Tonight, staff's recommending amending Chapter 30 of the Village Code as it pertains to administrative costs that may be incurred by the village as a result of administrative adjudication hearing. Additional costs would include court reporter fees, the cost of transcripts, recorder fees, attorney fees, interpreter fees, and the cost of mailing notice and orders. Staff's recommending these costs be paid by the respondent or the defendant should they be found liable at the hearing. These administrative costs would be in addition to any penalty that was imposed by the hearing officer. These amendments were reviewed by our staff. They were also reviewed by our village attorney, and they were found to be acceptable. So tonight we're looking for your favorable consideration in approving these changes.
I had no questions. Questions from the committee? Hearing none, then all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Item number 11 is consideration of an ordinance approving variations in a plat of re-subdivision for Rasney Jewelers located at 1501 West Lake Street. Is there a motion?
Make the motion.
Second.
Motion second. On discussion. Mike?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Rasney Jewelers is requesting a parking variation and approval of a plat of re-subdivision, which will allow them to construct a 10,000 square foot addition and significantly modify their site and their parking areas. As part of the project, they're acquiring approximately 1 acre of property from Marcus Theater to the south. Right now, we have an LOI, and it's currently under contract, but they haven't closed on it. So should you vote to approve this, it would be subject to that transaction taking place. In order to do this, it's going to require a plat of re-sub consolidating the 2 lots, making 1 lot of record. The proposed building expansion will now require 82 parking spaces, and then 50 are being provided. So it's a significant expansion. The additional parking that they're getting from the south will help. This request was brought to the September 18th Planning and Zoning Committee, and after a brief discussion, a unanimous decision or recommendation of approval was given to the committee tonight. Sarah Dring is the architect for Kuru Architects. She's here tonight to give a brief presentation, show you what the building looks like, show you what the site looks like, and to answer any questions that you might have. Sarah?
Thank you very much, Mike. As Mike said, I'm Sarah Dring with Kuru Group. I'm here to talk about the plat of re-subdivision. And as Mike also mentioned, the variances were approved at the Plan Commission not too long ago. And I'm guessing you're familiar with the location at 1501 West Lake Street. This is a picture of the existing site as it stands, and there's parking along Lake Street and then the parking field to the west. And Marcus is at the south of the property with their existing parking lot. And based on what we're trying to do so that we can alleviate parking difficulties from growing the building, Marcus and Rasney have been in discussion to purchase this Lot 2, which is Lot 2 of the Marcus property. And it's about 1.05 acres, and it's adjacent to our existing property at Rasney. Here's an aerial view, so I don't know if you can see that green box, but as you can see, the Marcus property is still quite large after taking the 1 acres from them for the purchase of this property. And what it does for us is allows the building to expand in the corner and be added onto, and we are able to have more of a private parking experience for the Rasney users and patrons, and we still keep all cross-access agreements. And we spent a lot of time going over with the fire department and the building department and engineering department to get this all tidied up and make sure the connections are right and the fire trucks can get everywhere. So we spent a lot of time fleshing it out and making sure it actually works for the amount of property that Rasny is intending to buy. So that's the plat of subdivision part. And then, as Mike mentioned, the variation for the parking, which was approved at the Plan Commission. Here's what the building looks now, which I'm guessing you're familiar with. Here's what the new front would look like. That would face the main roads coming in. Petit Philippe and Rolex are having a large presence in this new building. This is the street view at the top, a corner view down below. We're working with the brick colors, we're almost there, and we'll have a separate presentation for that. But this is the other end of the building, so you can kind of see the intent. And here's a axonometrics. So you have the nice bright glass opening for the patrons off the parking spots to the west and south. So it gives them good access and ease of use of the site. And here's a site plan with some proposed landscaping. So hopefully this kind of paints a picture for what Mr. Rasny is trying to accomplish. We're very excited about the project, and if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Questions from the committee? Other than, what's your timetable? What do you, I think it was September I saw, or start?
Let's see, so we're going to get these approvals. We'll have the site elevation approvals. The city has been nice enough to look at our drawings already. We just resubmitted with comments, so that all is pending on other approvals, right, for the zoning processes and such. But we're close, so I would think, because there's interior modeling too, then maybe the contractor will do some kind of interior work yet this year. I'm not sure how much he's touching the site before winter. Does that answer?
Yeah, perfect. No, thank you. No, I have no other questions. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
Thanks for your time. Have a good evening.
Thanks, Mike. Then item number 12 is consideration of an ordinance approving a plat of re-subdivision for Addison Horizon at the northwest corner of Denise Court and Green Meadow Drive. Is there a motion?
Make the motion.
Second.
Motion second. On discussion. Mike?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. As part of the development of the Addison Horizon Senior Living Facility located at the corner of Denise Court and Green Meadows Drive, the existing 2 parcels for which the site will be redeveloped are required to be consolidated into a single lot of record, similar to what we just talked about with Rasny. In addition to the consolidation, the plat of re-subdivision includes stormwater easements for storm sewer that will be installed around the site, as well as the vacation of an existing water main easement. The ordinance that you have in your packets and the plat of resub were reviewed by staff, also our village attorneys, and were found to be acceptable, so we're seeking approval of this plat of resubdivision as well. I think the groundbreaking is next week for that. I think there's a ceremony for that, so they've already started. This is just follow-up work with regard to the plat of resub.
Very good. Pretty cut and dry. I have no questions. Questions from the committee? Then hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to Public Health, Safety, and Judicial Committee items. Item number 13, consideration of an ordinance amending Chapter 3 of the Village Code to increase the number of Class E liquor licenses for Slotties located at 607 South Addison Road. Is there a motion?
Make the motion.
Second.
Joe?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Exciting news tonight with us. We have the 3 owners in attendance, 2 that are here. As mentioned, this would be an additional Class E liquor license for Slotties located at 607 South Addison Road. Liquor Commission did meet on September 10th and provided a unanimous favorable motion to move it here before the board. They have gone through an extensive background, passed that successfully, and we are requesting your favorable approval tonight.
Thank you. I have no questions. Are there any comments from the team? Thank you. Any questions from the committee? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Thanks, Joe. Item number 14, consideration of ordinances amending Chapter 3 of the Village Code to adjust the number of Class H liquor licenses to reflect new ownership at the Hilton Garden Inn located at 551 North Swift Road.
Make the motion.
Second.
Joe?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, really good news here for Addison. We're requesting a Class H liquor license for the Hilton Garden Inn, located at 551 North Swift Road. They will be under new ownership here very soon, and a big renovation is going to be happening too, an improvement to the rooms and the facility. We're not here for that tonight. We're here for the liquor license. And we did meet with the Liquor Commission on October 1st, who they too gave their unanimous approval and approved that motion to come before you tonight for your favorable approval as well. Future owner will be with us here tonight in attendance if you have any questions, but again, we're seeking your approval, went through a background and was successful in that background.
Okay, I have no questions. Any comments from, okay, any questions from the committee? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Madam
Joe.
Chair.
Thank you very much. Item number 15, consideration for approving of a resolution approving a quote from Stop Stick Limited for tire deflation devices and accompanying training equipment in the not to exceed amount of $20,100. Funding in account 100-1510-4304.
Make the motion.
Second.
Joe, or no, Roy?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This item for consideration is for tire deflation device equipment. We've been researching for probably the last 6 months some better equipment that we can use to try and stop fleeing vehicles. Over the last couple of years, law enforcement in general across the nation, and we've experienced it quite a bit, has seen a dramatic increase in the number of offenders that are fleeing and eluding. Many agencies in DuPage counties have changed their procedures, and we're seeking to change our procedures also, trying to get more proactive and looking at safe ways that we can stop offending vehicles that are fleeing down Lake Street at 100 miles an hour. We looked at several different devices. This seems to be the one that's favored the most. It's very safe with proper training. We also applied for a uniform capital grant and were approved. So the money used for the purchase from this will be submitted for a reimbursement, the amount of $20,100 that will be replaced by the grant. And we're seeking your favorable approval.
Okay, and we've used this type of equipment in the past successfully, correct?
We have. Other agencies have used it. We've relied on neighboring agencies quite a bit to help us because we don't have the equipment right now. So we've tested it out, and it is very safe. We're seeking to train everybody up with some additional emergency vehicle operation training. We're very confident in the ability.
Okay, sounds good. I have no other questions. Questions from the committee? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 16, consideration of a resolution approving a quote from Axon Enterprises, Inc. for the Draft 1 reporting and records management system for 5 years of service at a total cost of $174,915.56, and a request to waive the formal bid process. Funding in account number 140.9000-4304.
Make the motion.
Second.
Roy?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This item for consideration is the purchase of 5 years of service with a program called Draft 1 with Axon Enterprises for the total amount of $174,915.56. If you recall, the board was gracious enough to enter into a 10-year contract with Axon for upgrading all of our equipment. That included the purchase of body cameras, which were an unfunded mandate imposed upon us by the state. Because we went entirely Axon, we were in a great position after going with the records management system of Axon to demo a brand new product that they had called Draft 1. We demoed it, and what it is it's using artificial intelligence. The body cam will record an incident and can recognize what the nature of the call is and can then transcribe that into an actual police report. So we tested it out for several months, and we were amazed to find out that it is completely accurate with everything it detects on the body camera. What happened as a byproduct of that was the amount of time that officers were spending in the station was dramatically reduced, sending the officers back out on the street to being more proactive. They've expressed they would like to keep it. We have some minor concerns with the direction of the state, whether or not they'll continue to allow AI technology. So we've, with the help of village attorneys, drafted some language into the agreement that if the state should change course and restrict the use of AI in any type of law enforcement encounter, then we will get the money back and a form to be applied elsewhere through Axon. So we are requesting your favorable approval for the purchase using equitable asset forfeiture funds.
AI is showing up everywhere, and it's good that you've been testing it, and you've been very pleased with the results. I have no questions. Any questions from the committee? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Roy. And item number 17, audience participation regarding village business. Item number 18, executive session, isn't necessary today. Item number 19, other business at the discretion of the chairman, nothing. And item number 20,
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call the village board meeting for Monday, October 7th to order. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Trustees Del Rosario.
Here.
Hundley.
Here.
Kluzny.
Here.
Nasty.
Here.
O'Brien.
Here.
Reyes. Here. And Mayor Veenstra.
Here. Would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Item number 4 is the approval of the minutes of the September 17th special village board meeting. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those minutes stand approved. We also need to approve the minutes of the September 17th public hearing. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor, please
Aye.
say aye.
Aye.
The minutes stand approved. Item number 5 is proclamations, appointments, and presentations. We do have several this evening, actually 2. And just to kind of preface it, I think most everybody knows that we work very closely with a lot of the philanthropic and social organizations in our community. And one of them that is very present on corners once a year with their Tootsie Rolls and is involved in a myriad of other charitable organizations is our Knights of Columbus in Addison. And tonight they are making 2 special presentations. So Mike, if you would come up, Mike Brunst, and kind of explain what you're doing, and we'll go from there.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Village Board. Again, we're the Knights of Columbus here. Come on over, guys. We're proud, again, Council 650 here in Addison again. We're proud, again, to be able to serve with the police department and fire department with Shopper Hero. We've done this, I couldn't even tell you how many years now, with your guidance that you've actually helped us, start with Shopper Hero. I guess that's really pretty much what I want to say. But again, we have a check this year for the Shopper Hero program for $3,000.
Mike, if you would have one of the officers or yourself explain Shop with the Hero and what that's about. I didn't want to say that, but you're right.
First and foremost, I want to thank Mr. Bronson and Knights of Columbus for always being wonderful supporters of the Shop with the Hero program that's coming up this December. Shop with the Hero program is a program designed for the Addison Fire District and the Addison Police Department to help those members who are less fortunate in our community. We get together, we volunteer our time, and we go shopping with the kids for some of the toys that they may not have had on their own. But the Knights of Columbus are extremely generous. Each and every year they also donate warm coats. So it's not just that the kids are getting a wonderful toy and a wonderful surprise, they're able to stay a little bit warmer every single Christmas thanks to the Knights of Columbus, and especially Mr. Bruns, who's always so willing and so helpful to help us out. So thank you very much for your continued support. Thank you, Mayor Veenstra, Village Manager Moranowitz, and Chief Salvik for allowing us to make Shop with the Hero continue success year after year. Thank you very much.
Thank you. For those of you who are not aware, this is an annual event that both the police and fire districts participate in. And not only do they raise funds, and other businesses in our community donate to supply funds that make it possible, but the officers and the firefighters actually dig into their own pockets. They walk the aisles of Walmart with these young people, and they help them pick out gifts, and they pay for a lot of it also out of their own pockets. So, some things that you hear on the news, you don't hear the things that you really should be hearing. And I have to really acknowledge our police department and the fire district for doing a tremendous job and not really bragging about it and just doing their job as normal. So thank you very much. And Mike, now you've got another presentation.
I do. And again, Mr. Mayor, Village Board, everybody else, I appreciate you letting us, the Knights of Columbus, do this here. So every year, the Knights of Columbus Council, 650, once a year in June, all the money that we raise, because our year ends at the end of June, all the money that we raise throughout the year, we give away at a brunch in June. But also at the same time, we actually have awards for a lot of our members that, night of the year or, and such. A couple years ago now, we actually came up with an award. It's called the John J. Malone Award. And this award is actually for somebody in the community or an organization or whomever it would be that helped our council succeed further than it could have before. And this is an award that I started a couple years ago, and I'm really glad that we were able to do this. The person actually that won this award wasn't able to come in June. Rick, do you want to come up? You take this out. So Rick, on behalf of the Knights of Columbus, we'd like to award you the John J. Malone Award for excellence. So what actually says it recognizes your outstanding dedication to excellence in supporting our mission. And Rick, the thing is that whenever I've come to you and said, Rick, I need something, or I need some help, and honestly, if I need money. And the funny thing is that I actually thought that you would only give the Knights of Columbus money. I found out you give other people money, which is a great thing. I'm not saying anything. Well, what I'm saying is that not only are you helping the Knights of Columbus, but you're helping other charities in town. And that's kind of where the point where I was going to. So guys like you make the village great.
Well, thank you, Mike.
So I appreciate that.
Rick, do you want to say anything, or?
Well, this is quite a surprise. I didn't, Mike contacted me and said he wanted me to come to a village board meeting, and I guess, I'm blessed to be, part of this village, as far as a citizen, as well as, we have a company here in town as well, and, and I think, the charity organizations, the police department, standing here right in front of the Addison Advantage, and, and I believe that, I see that through all of you, whether it's your relationship that you've built with, the different school districts, 88 and District 4, whether, Mayor, with the workforce development piece that you put together many years ago, and the cooperation that this community has is very special, and I'm grateful for being part of it, and so thank you for that, and that's I don't have anything other than to say this was quite a surprise, Mike, and I glad that we're able to do it. So thank you.
Well, we've got a lot of very, very involved companies in the village of Addison, but SWD has been very, very involved for years, and the DeLauder family has played a big role in Addison, from Dick, Rick's father, and his brothers. Everybody served on commissions or have been involved in various elements of our community. So congratulations and thank you, and all of your relatives, for a great job that you've done and provided for us. Thank you. Okay, we are going to move on to item number 6, which is audience input regarding agenda items before the board. It's also a convenient time for people who don't want to be here for the entire meeting to say goodnight. Right, that moves us to item number 7 is the consent agenda. 7A is approval of accounts payable.
Earlier this evening, the committee recommended approval of the following directives. Directive number 25-31 in the amount of $408,065.38. Directive number 25-32 in the amount of $458,216.01. Directive number 25-33 in the amount of $671,161.77. Directive number 25-34 in the amount of $1,355,887.91. The gross payroll for September was $2,824,455.99. And we have one correction. Directive number 25-07 was approved on June 3rd, 2024, in the amount of $1,033,909.80. It's being reduced by $104.93, making the new total $1,033,804.87.
Thank you. 7B is approval of the final payout to Tigris Aquatic Services, LLC of Atlanta, Georgia, in the amount of $53,301.92 for the Louis Reservoir East Pond Aerator Project. And 7C is the approval of the final payout to Aqua Contractors Corporation of Elmhurst, Illinois, for the Oak Chestnut North State Infrastructure Project in the amount of $422,696.85. This is bid number 23-5-1. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion is second. Discussion. Roll call.
Yes.
Yes.
Kluzny,
Yes.
Nasty,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
and Reyes.
Yes.
The consent agenda is approved. Item 8, ordinances and resolutions. 8A is the second reading of an ordinance authorizing the sale by public auction of surplus equipment owned by the Village of Addison.
At our meeting on September 17th, the committee reviewed this ordinance, which authorizes the sale of public auction of surplus equipment owned by the Village of Addison. The committee recommended approval, and first reading was given at the September 17th special Village Board meeting. Second reading is requested.
This is second reading of an ordinance authorizing the sale by public auction of surplus equipment owned by the Village of Addison.
Motion to adopt the ordinance?
Motion is second to adopt the ordinance. Discussion. Roll call.
Trustees Del Rosario,
Yes.
Huntley,
Yes.
Kluzny,
Yes.
Nasty,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
and Reyes.
Yes.
The ordinance is approved. 8B is the second reading of an ordinance approving a building access and visitors policy for the Village of Addison.
At our meeting on September 17th, the committee reviewed this ordinance, which approves a building access and visitor policy for the Village of Addison. The committee recommended approval, and first reading was given at the September 17th special Village Board meeting. Second reading is requested.
This is second reading of an ordinance approving a building access and visitor policy for the Village of Addison.
Motion to adopt the ordinance?
Motion is second to adopt the ordinance. Discussion. Roll call.
Trustees Del Rosario,
Yes.
Huntley,
Yes.
Kluzny,
Yes.
Nasty,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
and Reyes.
Yes.
The ordinance is approved. 8C is the first reading of an ordinance amending certain provisions of Chapter 30 of the Village Code regarding administrative adjudication.
At our meeting earlier this evening, the committee reviewed this ordinance, which amends certain provisions of Chapter 30 of the Village Code regarding administrative adjudication. The committee recommended approval, and first reading is requested.
This is first reading of an ordinance amending certain provisions of Chapter 30 of the Village Code regarding administrative adjudication.
First reading.
First reading. Item 8D is the first reading of an ordinance approving variations in a plat of re-subdivision for Rasney Jewelers located at 1501 West Lake Street.
At their meeting earlier this evening, the committee reviewed this ordinance, which approves variations in a plat of re-subdivision for Rasney Jewelers located at 1501 West Lake Street. The committee recommended approval, and first reading is requested.
This is first reading of an ordinance approving variations in a plat of re-subdivision for Rasney Jewelers located at 1501 West Lake Street.
First reading.
First reading. 8E is the first reading of an ordinance approving a plat of re-subdivision for Addison Horizon at the northwest corner of Denise Court and Green Meadow Drive.
At their meeting earlier this evening, the committee reviewed this ordinance, which approves a plat of re-subdivision for Addison Horizon at the northwest corner of Denise Court and Green Meadow Drive. The committee recommended approval, and first reading is requested.
This is first reading of an ordinance approving a plat of re-subdivision for Addison Horizon at the northwest corner of Denise Court and Green Meadow Drive.
First reading.
First reading. 8F is the first reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 3 of the Village Code to increase the number of Class E liquor licenses for Slotties located at 607 South Addison Road.
At our meeting earlier this evening, the committee reviewed this ordinance, which amends Chapter 3 of the Village Code to increase the number of Class E liquor licenses for Slotties located at 607 South Addison Road. The committee recommended approval, and first reading is requested.
This is first reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 3 of the Village Code to increase the number of Class E liquor licenses for Slotties located at 607 South Addison Road.
First reading.
First reading. 8G is the first reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 3 of the Village Code to decrease the number of Class H liquor licenses for Addison Lounge doing business as Hilton Garden Inn located at 551 North Swift Road.
At our meeting earlier this evening, the committee reviewed this ordinance, which amends Chapter 3 of the Village Code to decrease the number of Class H liquor licenses for Addison Lounge LLC doing business as Hilton Garden Inn located at 551 North Swift Road. The committee recommended approval, and waiver of second reading has been requested by staff. The attorney is asked to read the ordinance.
This is first reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 3 of the Village Code to decrease the number of Class H liquor licenses for Addison Lounge LLC doing business as Hilton Garden Inn located at 551 North Swift Road.
Motion to adopt the ordinance?
Second.
Motion and second to adopt the ordinance. Discussion? Roll call.
Trustees Del Rosario,
Yes.
Hundley,
Yes.
Kluzny,
Yes.
Nasty,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
and Reyes.
Yes.
The ordinance is approved. 8H is the first reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 3 of the Village Code to increase the number of Class H liquor licenses for Swift Hospitality doing business as Hilton Garden Inn, located at 551 North Swift Road.
At our meeting earlier this evening, the committee reviewed this ordinance, which amends Chapter 3 of the Village Code to increase the number of Class H liquor licenses for Swift Hospitality LLC doing business as Hilton Garden Inn, Addison, located at 551 North Swift Road. The committee recommended approval, and waiver of second reading has been requested by staff. The attorney is asked to read the ordinance.
This is first reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 3 of the Village Code to increase the number of Class H liquor licenses for Swift Hospitality LLC doing business as Hilton Garden Inn Addison located at 551 North Swift Road.
Motion to adopt the ordinance?
Second.
Motion and second to adopt the ordinance. Discussion? Roll call.
Trustees Del Rosario,
Yes.
Hundley,
Yes.
Kluzny,
Yes.
Nasty,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
and Reyes.
Yes.
The ordinance is approved. 8I is consideration of a resolution approving a quote from Stop Stick Limited for tire deflation devices and accompanying training equipment in the not-to-exceed amount of $20,100.
At our meeting earlier this evening, the committee reviewed this resolution, which approves a quote from Stop Stick Limited for tire deflation devices and accompanying training equipment in the not-to-exceed amount of $20,100. The committee recommended approval, and the attorney is asked to read the resolution.
This is consideration of a resolution approving a quote from Stop Stick Limited for tire deflation devices and accompanying training equipment in the not-to-exceed amount of $20,100.
Motion to approve the resolution?
Second.
Motion and second to adopt the resolution. Discussion? Roll call.
Trustees Del Rosario,
Yes.
Hundley,
Yes.
Kluzny,
Yes.
Nasty,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
and Reyes.
Yes.
Resolution is approved. 8J is consideration of a resolution approving a quote from Axon Enterprise Incorporated for the Draft 1 reporting and record maintenance system for 5 years of service at a total cost of $174,915.56, and a request to waive the formal bid process.
At our meeting earlier this evening, the committee reviewed this resolution, which approves a quote from Axon Enterprise, Inc. for the Draft 1 Reporting and Records Management System for 5 years of service at a total cost of $174,915.56, and a request to waive the formal bid process. The committee recommended approval, and the attorney is asked to read the resolution.
This is consideration of a resolution approving a quote from Axon Enterprise, Inc. for the Draft 1 Reporting and Records Management System for 5 years of service at a total cost of $174,915.56, and a request to waive the formal bid process.
Motion to approve the resolution?
Second.
Motion and second to approve. Discussion. Roll call.
Trustees Del Rosario,
Yes.
Huntley,
Yes.
Kluzny,
Yes.
Nasty,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
and Reyes.
Yes.
Resolution is approved. 8K is consideration of a resolution approving a quote from Gadding Electric Company of Glendale Heights, Illinois, for the purchase of a custom motor for the raw sewage pumps at the North Wastewater Treatment Plant in the amount of $22,055.11.
At our meeting earlier this evening, the committee reviewed this resolution, which approves a quote from Gadding Electric Company of Glendale Heights, Illinois, for the purchase of a custom motor for the raw sewage pumps at the North Wastewater Treatment Plant in the amount of $22,055.11. The committee recommended approval, and the attorney is asked to read the resolution.
This is consideration of a resolution approving a quote from Gadding Electric Company of Glendale Heights, Illinois, for the purchase of a custom motor for the raw sewage pumps at the North Wastewater Treatment Plant in the amount of $22,055.11.
Motion to adopt the resolution?
Motion and second to adopt. Discussion. Roll call.
Trustees Del Rosario,
Yes.
Hundley,
Yes.
Kluzny,
Yes.
Nasty,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
and Reyes.
Yes.
The resolution is approved. 8L is consideration of a resolution approving a quote from Excel Limited Incorporated of Grays Lake, Illinois, for the purchase of streetlight control cabinets in the amount of $46,050, and a request to waive the formal bid process.
At our meeting earlier this evening, the committee reviewed this resolution, which approves a quote from Excel Limited, Inc. of Grays Lake, Illinois, for the purchase of streetlight control cabinets in the amount of $46,050, and a request to waive the formal bid process. The committee recommended approval, and the attorney is asked to read the resolution.
This is consideration of a resolution approving a quote from XL Limited Incorporated of Grays Lake, Illinois, for the purchase of streetlight control cabinets in the amount of $46,050, and a request to waive the formal bid process.
Motion to adopt the resolution?
Motion and second to adopt. Discussion. Roll call.
Trustees Del Rosario,
Yes.
Hundley,
Yes.
Kluzny,
Yes.
Nasty,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
and Reyes.
Yes.
The resolution is approved. 8M is consideration of a resolution approving a quote from Parkson Corporation of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, for the rebuild and retrofit of the existing AquaGuard continuous self-cleaning bar screen at the A.J. LaRocca facility in the amount of $215,435, and a request to waive the formal bid process.
At our meeting earlier this evening, the committee reviewed this resolution, which approves a quote from Parkson Corporation of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, for the rebuild and retrofit of the existing AquaGuard continuous self-cleaning bar screen at the A.J. LaRocca facility in the amount of $215,435, and a request to waive the formal bid process. The committee recommended approval, and the attorney is asked to read the resolution.
This is consideration of a resolution approving a quote from Parkson Corporation of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, for the rebuild and retrofit of the existing AquaGuard continuous self-cleaning bar screen at the A.J. LaRocca facility in the amount of $215,435, and a request to waive the formal bid process.
Motion to adopt the resolution?
Motion and second to adopt the resolution. Discussion. Roll call.
Trustees Del Rosario,
Yes.
Huntley,
Yes.
Kluzny,
Yes.
Nasty,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
and Reyes.
Yes.
The resolution is approved. Item 9 is the mayor's report. We have a proclamation that I would ask the attorney to read, please.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. This is a proclamation declaring October 2024 Arts DuPage Month. Whereas Arts DuPage has regularly issued official proclamations to all the cities and villages in DuPage County on an annual basis, designating October as Arts DuPage Month. And whereas the arts embody much of the accumulated wisdom, intellect, and imagination of humankind. And whereas the arts enrich us as individuals and play a unique role in the lives of our families and our communities. And whereas the arts promote a better understanding of the diversified cultures within our communities and unify us regardless of age, race, and ethnicity. And whereas the arts sector in DuPage County consists of 2,272 arts-related businesses and accounts for 4.2% of the total number of businesses in the region, a larger share of the economy than transportation, tourism, agriculture, and construction. And whereas the arts provide full-time employment for over 15,000 workers in DuPage County, and whereas the arts improve our economy, enrich our civic life, drive tourism and commerce, and exert a profound positive influence on the education of our children. Now, therefore, Rich Veenstra, Mayor, does hereby proclaim October 2024 as Arts DuPage Month in the Village of Addison, and calls upon our community members to celebrate and promote the arts and culture in DuPage County.
Thank you. I also have 2 requests this evening. One is for the approval of a 24-hour liquor license for St. Paul Lutheran Church for their Oktoberfest event on Sunday, October 20th. Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And secondly, a approval request for 2 raffle permits for the Addison Trail Theater Boosters for an event at the high school on November 7th through the 8th, and February 6th through the 8th. Is there a motion?
So move.
All those in favor?
Aye.
The requests are approved. Item 10, officers report, village attorney.
I have nothing tonight, thank you, Mayor.
Village manager.
No report tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
Village clerk.
Well, we always have a lot to do in this town, and this coming Saturday, October 12th, the community recycling event will take place from 8 a.m. until noon at the Public Works Department facility, which is at 1491 Jeffrey Drive. Electronics are also going to be accepted at that time. Also, remember to visit the Historical Museum. They will be having an open house this Saturday, October 12th, from noon until 4 p.m. Early voting continues at the Addison Township office, which is at 50 East Oak Street, door number 8, Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 a.m. until noon. Now, the last day to register to vote for the upcoming November election will be on October 8th. The upcoming Fall Crafts Fair, well, there's 2 of them actually, on October 18th and 19th at Good Samaritan Church, and on October 26th at the Addison Trail High School. Oh, there's 3 of them. Wow. And the 3rd one on November 16th and 17th at St. Philip the Apostle School. Also, remember to visit the Addison Center for Arts exhibit. It's at Addison Trail High School in the Addison Center for Arts Gallery. The exhibit is October 9th through November 9th, and there will be a reception from 6 to 8 p.m. on October 11th. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. We have commission and board reports this evening. We do not. And normally the next item would be executive session, which we do need this evening. But I think there's some audience participation for this evening. So we'll rearrange and ask you to come up now, and then we'll go to executive session.
Hi, everybody, again. Thank you for your service. We still appreciate everything you're doing. We would love to have a little more. That would be water. I do understand that you all are working on it and even contacting other villages, so I really appreciate the time and effort that people have gone in for our rather unusual request. I would like to suggest and ask if it's possible to do it, to just go ahead and turn the water on until we can get this settled. It's been 4.5 months now that we've been lugging water, and, we can do it, but it'd be a lot nicer to turn on the tap. When I spoke last meeting, there were some people who were watching who mentioned that what I said was a little confusing, and I'm not sure just what they meant, but I referred to notebooks, and I don't know if the camera can see this, but I have spent several months getting a lot of science together in these notebooks here. And here's another picture. I don't know if the camera can see it, but you all have a copy of these notebooks. Most of these pages are abstracts of science. Now, an abstract is a summary of a paper. It's just usually a paragraph or two. And there are 2 or 3 paragraphs per page. Isn't that true for every page? No, but the high proportion is. I also want to point out that there are some charts here. The red is negative. The red means that they found negative effects. The blue means they did not find negative effects. Now, if you've got kids that are out hunting for Easter eggs and half of them have their baskets full and one kid is saying, but I can't find any, what do you say? You go look again. So when you have this much negative effect, the people who are not finding the negative effects might need to go look again or find out perhaps why they are not. Maybe there's other reasons they're not finding negative effects, but we'll just leave that. Here's another chart. Is there anyone with questions? I think everybody has one of these, and these are the table of contents for these notebooks here. So if it's possible, I would be very willing to leave these notebooks somewhere at the Village Hall, maybe on a table somewhere where anybody could come in and just peruse them if they like at their leisure. I don't know if that's possible, but I'm willing to. They're just sitting in my living room.
There's a liability issue that we would have.
Okay, all right. Well, I thought I'd mention it anyway. Okay, well, thank you very much. If you have no questions, I appreciate your service and your continued efforts for us. And sooner the better would be wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, our next item is...
I'm sorry, I have a friend who wants to speak as well.
Limited to 3 minutes, so...
Oh, no problem. I'm just a friend. We're just trying to help her out. Do we have a village attorney here, right?
Ma'am, can you state your name?
Oh, sure, Diane Meyer.
For the record, because the clerk would like to know who you are.
State your name and address, please. Diane Meyer. I'm staying with
Did you sign in the back also?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. All right.
Okay, so the issue with the water, we had been dealing with the village now for a couple of months, and I think it's because there's a miscommunication with the way that things are getting across. The fact of the matter is that we've been without water now for 4.5 months. I know according to the Declaration of Human Rights, you're only allowed at most 24 hours. Somebody has to come in and intercede, so I'm not sure why it's okay to leave the water off for so long while the information that she's trying to gather to prove the hazards of the smart meters in general, be they water, electric, gas, whatever, the FCC has not been compliant with the Supreme Court since 1996. In 2021, the Supreme Court told them they've got to update their research so then you all can be better informed, so then you can all do a better job in protecting the community. If you are not informed because the FCC is not updating since 1996, then you all can't make a good decision for your constituent village members. So I think that herein lies the problem. Might be relying on research. She's found her own research. The research has been presented to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said, yes, the FCC needs to update all this so then you guys can protect the constituents here in the village. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, this evening we do need an executive session for the purpose of discussing employment and personnel. And I would entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting to executive session.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and second. Roll call, please.
Trustees Del Rosario? Yes. Hundley?
Yes.
Krusny?
Yes.
Nasty?
Yes.
O'Brien?
Yes.
Reyes?
We are adjourned to executive session.